Tom's had a go at this.
Look, over there, there's a football.
Oh, yeah. Keep an eye open, you two. Whoa. Hang on, mate. This place is electrified. Oh, that's for frightened little kids. You're all right if you don't touch anything. I've seen people working up there.
Yeah, well, I don't particularly want to mess around with this type of stuff. It's not worth it.
You're just scared of getting caught.
Stay safe. Stay out. Don't take a chance with electricity.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's watch party for the 1992, well, I think it's a classic. Not everyone has seen it. Sneakers. As always, I'm Andrew, and I'm joined by Dom, who has returned to us this week. Welcome back, Dom.
I'm back, baby.
Good.
Be
So, did everyone enjoy the public information film?
Oh, yep, I saw that one. I saw that PSA when I was a kid. Weirdly enough, it made me want to go and explore those electrical stations quite a lot. There was like 3 or 4 near me.
Yes.
The shower was great, Halifino. Thank you for asking. Yeah, you can tell that I'm freshly showered, eh?
We had, actually a house I used to live in, we had an electrical substation near my house, but it was like enclosed. It was like, it had like a roof.
Yeah.
It was like in a thing.
Oh, it had a roof as well?
It had a roof and everything. It was only a small, very small one. And I remember once there was a guy there working on it, and I looked out the window to see an enormous amount of sparks shoot in the street, and the whole street went dead. And then all these other vans turned up, and they started trying to fix things. I knew something had gone wrong. Anyway, let's get back to doing a roll call and get into this film. So I can see we're joined tonight by Halifino, Napalm, Sharon, Alex Peacock, James Hellier. Welcome back. Jedi Wizard isn't joining us today, but has popped in to say hello. Hello, Jedi Wizard, if you're watching us on the catch-up. Ms. Swift, welcome. Brainwire. Geronimo Jehoshaphat. Fantastic. Great to see you. Eric, welcome. Let's go. Anyone else I've missed? I said Nate. Old Johnny Devick, welcome. So, Dom, tell me the first time you saw this film.
I'll tell you after we watch this film, because I have not seen this film before.
Oh, welcome, Brian. Brian McMahon from Ireland has rejoined us. Welcome, Brian.
Welcome, Brian. Yeah, I saw Sharon earlier in the chat mentioning The Sting, and that's all I can think of whenever I see Robert Redford in anything. I think of The Sting, like such a great film.
Well, hopefully this will be another great film. I tell you what, it's got reasonable beginning credits and whatever, so let's get into it, and then we'll start discussing the film, because it's, 2 hours long. So here we go, let's hit the countdown and get going. Hang on. Before I do that, guys, I didn't tell you where the sync point was.
We should tell everyone where we sync.
This is the sync point, everybody, and we'll flub for a minute. I'm not with it today. This is the sync point, so about 17 seconds in, when you see Universal and MCA Company. I'll give you a few seconds to do that. Yeah, first time I saw this film was actually a few years after it was released. One of my friends introduced me to it, and I loved it. And I want to get into some of the IT bits and pieces with you. But it's it's a lot of fun. I mean, the cast list on this film, Don, we were discussing it before we came on air. I mean, it's incredible, this list of just people in it.
Raw talent, yeah. There's tons of people.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, James saw it on Big Box Rental VHS.
Nice.
Welcome Calbot. Calbot saying it's their first time watching it, been on a list for a long time. Well, welcome, Napalm. It's great to have you here, not having with your first watch party. Perfect. 17 seconds. There we go. Okay, so let's do the countdown, press play, and get into this. So here we go.
Let's do it.
And here we go. And you might recognise the where the start of the film is set. It just looks a little bit different. And this is fantastic because of the whole cryptography thing. There's a lot of anagrams in the film title.
I suck at anagrams. Like, I know some people who look at words and are like, yes, I can make 15 different anagrams of this. And I'm like, how? Like, I suck at Scrabble. I'm so bad.
Well, let's have a look. So, question for the chat, where did you first see this film? Alex Peacock on TV or video rental, can't remember. But Miss Swift on cable. James saw it on a big box VHS rental, and it's in his top 10 favourite films this week. Eric's never seen it, and Maypalm says it's one of their top favourite films. It is a fantastic film. Now, Dom, do you recognise that place looking very different?
It looks like Marty McFly is going to be flying around it at some point.
Actually, there could be some. Actually, if it's snowy, there could be some gremlins rampaging up the street
as well,
just at the side, couldn't there? Or if you look just around the corner, you might see the Monster Squad fighting the classic monsters. That's right, it's the Universal backlot in Hill Valley.
This particular, this lot in particular, is got so many great memories. Like you just listed, Monster Squad, Gremlins, Back to the Future. Oh, so many good films.
So we're seeing that is called an acoustic coupler, which is before we had modems that went direct into computers, you'd actually sit the phone receiver on a device and it literally listened in and had a speaker on it, and it was incredibly slow.
That was also seen in War Games, I believe.
There was an acoustic coupler in there as well. Yeah, exactly, James. The flashback's in 4:3.
Oh yeah, I love aspect ratio changes.
Also, can we appreciate they cast a really good young Robert Redford?
Yeah.
Gary Hirschberger.
I mean, he looks like the part. I'm like, dang.
Yeah,
the same people wrote War Games. From James Hellier, apparently. Well, they clearly had a love for that tech.
Can't fault it. Gary Busey, the football years.
I'd believe it.
No. Yeah, exactly, Sharon. Fun fact, the budget for this movie is 23 million. For all the stars we're going to see, that's a bargain. Oh, I'm not sure, Brian. What was the short-lived tech sitcom that Stephen Tobolowsky was in? Yeah. Oh, John Devitt, this is where the Lost Boys attended computer classes.
Is that purely because of the Chinese food?
Well, the thing is, they're going for pizza. I'm not sure where the pizza place is, but I know there's a Burger King near there and a cafe just across the road, isn't there?
Absolutely, yeah. This music is phenomenal.
Oh, it is. It is absolutely phenomenal. Yeah,
it was James Horner, didn't you?
It's James Horner. And look how fortunate he was that the van was covered in snow. It wouldn't start, so he had kind of a really good hiding place.
How many moments have there been in your life, do you reckon, where it's like a coin flip changed your life?
I don't know, really. I don't know.
Or like, if I didn't go out for nachos at this time of the night, I wouldn't have met this individual or whatever.
I don't know. I don't like to live my life thinking that, you know?
That's true, yeah.
I think it can be a bad way of living your life, because then you end up...
live with so many regrets.
Yes. Now, this kind of hacking is very, very accurate that we're going to see now. This is, I had a friend who used to do this kind of work, and I'll probably discuss him quite a bit through this watch party. And he did this very similar to this kind of work, because not all hacking is direct on the computer hacking. It will be a combination of social engineering of staff, stealing uniforms, intercepting systems, and this is a real kind of test that big corporations and banks, as we're seeing here, will have done. Did the director direct anything else? The most famous film, hell if I know, he directed was Field of Dreams before this film. Yeah, cracking is easier than hacking, Johnny. But as I'll say when I'm talking in the IT security world, the weakest piece of security in any environment is the person sat on the chair.
Yeah.
So that's a tone tester that you used to use on, well, you still use on some, on phone switches. He's just probing the contacts.
Mm-hmm. Hackers, the film, really did not damage, but it changed the cultural perception of what a hacker is supposed to look like, didn't it? That and like cyberpunk, the genre.
The problem with hackers was, and I discussed this on the last watch party, it made it more glamorous and very Hollywood.
Yeah.
A lot of this is very close to reality of what it is with the real. I think, Johnny, there is a documentary about McAfee on Netflix, I think.
There's several, isn't there? Because
pretty sure.
Isn't it McAfee? Is that how you pronounce his name?
McAfee. Yeah.
Either way, the guy was insane and a genius.
I think there is one on Netflix, Johnny. There we go. So one of my friends used to do work, sometimes, apart from being a professional hacker, he was a professional penetration tester, Tiger Team, all this kind of IT security stuff. And one of the things he had to do occasionally was he would do the thing where you'd smart talk your way into the building, even just so you could get some level of access either to the computers or to an element of it, or even just to see if you could physically get into somewhere. He used to go over different places in the world doing things, and it was companies hire his firm to do this kind of thing. One time in South America, he was held at gunpoint and beaten slightly by two guards who would not let him get the letter from the CEO of the company out of his backpack when they caught him.
How much did he sue the company for?
No, he didn't. But it was, had some quite nefarious stuff. But unfortunately, tragically, he had a bit of a drink problem, and he basically drank himself into an early grave. Doing certain types of IT security, especially this kind of stuff, where you have to think like a criminal, and basically it renders you constantly paranoid. It's one of the worst branches of IT for mental health.
I can understand.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, it sucks.
Yeah, it does. It's incredible stories, and in his books, in his published books, there's bits of some of the stuff he's done as well. But it's a whole other world, acting like a criminal. Exactly, Johnny. Mystery shopper, IT department.
God, Sidney Poitier is an absolute legend as well.
Oh, yes. Do you remember when $100,000 was a lot of money?
Yeah, I miss those days. Now it's kind of a deposit for a house that's got 2 bedrooms. What you mean you don't have $100,000 lying around? What are you, poor? Working at McDonald's?
Oh yeah, well they are. Well, they will be very similar to the desktops you were using in the early '90s. Hell if I know, because that's the era of the film. Early '90s equipment.
Martin Bishop.
Yes.
Are there going to be like rooks and knights as surnames?
No.
Okay.
No.
Oh, I love this soundtrack.
It's
James
kind
Horner.
of just yeah.
Oh. Just lightly throwing the saxophone in there. Oh.
It's what's really interesting. I mean, this film came out in 1992, and the concepts we're going to discuss in this film, it was actually quite ahead of its time on some of the stuff. As in, some of the stuff was relatively new in some ways. Is he wearing medical scrubs?
It looks like it, yeah.
Yeah.
James is saying they didn't want Robert Redford for this, saying he was too old. How can you ever turn down Robert Redford for anything? Especially a seasoned character. Like, yeah, he wouldn't be a young whippersnapper right off the street, would he? But...
No, Johnny, not the movie The Web. The Web was... The Net, you mean, Johnny. The Net. Which came out very similar, but it's a bit... Yeah, there's some okay bits in it, but not other bits in it.
It's so difficult to take Dan Aykroyd even remotely seriously in any role he does. Even though he can and does often serious roles,
I can't help but feel that River Phoenix's character is partially inspired by David in War Games.
Well, yeah. Was it James Hellier that said
yeah.
that it's the same writers?
The same people, yeah.
And you gotta love...
He's not Mother that way, Calbot. He's just called Mother, as in Mom, not as in the computer from the Alien films.
You also gotta love a very clean setup of introducing you to your cast of characters in this interrogation way.
Yeah, this government agency.
You got character A, he's the young brash one. You got character B, he does this and that. You got character C, the no-nonsense member of the gang.
Like, it's old hat and all, but it gets the job done. It's effective, and I miss it. I really do miss a good roll call. You don't see him anymore. I mean, dude, how do you expect to be taken seriously? 1, you're a redhead. 2, you've got that mustache. And 3, those sideburns are impeccably trimmed. No one will take you seriously. I wouldn't take you seriously.
Well, I don't know. It's the 90s.
A lot of this camera work as well, and this is why the 90s are so damn special. You saw a lot of this camera work in television, which was very different. Like Twin Peaks had very cinematic television. The X-Files had very cinematic television. I'm saying cinematic television. I mean cinematic camera movements.
Government's taken away my home.
These themes just keep going throughout the years.
Yeah. Exactly, Sharon. We're the NSA and we're here to help. Oh, he's a bit quick to anger. God, I love the NSA.
How dare you insult the NSA? For who's watching, I love every US government facility. Don't harm me. See, things like cryptography and figuring out puzzles, I can do, and I'm actually kind of good at. Crosswords as well, Sudoku, stuff like that, but Scrabble and anagrams, oh my god, I don't know why my brain just does not compute them.
You're going to like that, Dom, because this film has anagrams and it features Scrabble.
Great!
C-Tech astronomy,
my Achilles heel. All right, everyone, we're all starting to talk about the 90s. Let's get it out of the way. What's your favorite thing of the 90s that you miss? Because I was a kid in the 90s. I can relate to these things. I was alive.
Well, actually, when this film came out, I would have been 14.
Yeah.
But I didn't see it until it was probably 4 years. I was probably nearly 18 when I saw this.
Gotcha. You're already knee deep in the tech life at that point.
Laptop. I didn't quite see it. Let me look. I can look at Start. There's a website I can look at to look at the computers in this one.
Halifano's saying The Shadow. You missed The Shadow from the 90s. Yeah, it's a fun film. Wait, was The Shadow the 90s? Yeah, it was. Home computers were fun in the 90s. Not everyone was on MacBooks and iPads.
It could well have been Alex. It could. Was it a greyish colour? Because Toshiba laptops always tend to be sort of a grey colour.
Yeah, Sharon, there was... I think the ciphers have been broken now, but when I was studying criminology and forensics, the Zodiac Killer's ciphers were up there and studied.
If it
Part of
was
my
a
homework
white,
was to crack them.
if it was a white colour, Alex, it was probably a compact laptop of the era.
Doom 2. Ah, Napalm, yeah. I miss loading up Doom, and Blood was my favourite of the old school first-person shooter games. God, I love Blood.
God, this film's really nicely shot, the lighting and everything.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Miss Swift, this released my first fear of college. Computer shows. Okay, Redford, you gotta tone the dad down just a touch. That combo there of the oversized shirt tucked into the jeans.
It's great.
Futurama for the first time. Was that 99? It would have been, wouldn't it?
Futurama, yeah.
Futurama.
Yeah.
Buffy. Again, these television shows, which... TV before, like, Twin Peaks. I'm a Twin Peaks fan, if you didn't guess. But before then, TV was so samey, and they were shot very samey, and long, overarching stories didn't really exist.
James is saying the director is really good director. Shame he didn't enjoy directing, so didn't do it more. Yeah, the other problem is as well, James, he did write the screenplay for Ghost Dad before this.
Oh, Johnny Debick, you're just mentioning my favourite TV shows of all time now. We got Buffy, Futurama, Xena Warrior Princess.
And another phenomenal actor, Mary McDonnell.
Who would go on to Battlestar Galactica, the remake, I think?
She would, but before that she was the lead in Dances with Wolves.
Ah, yes. Ghost Dad takes you back, hell if I know. Why?
Alex Peacock, it stands with fist, president of the universe. Yep. Chris Swift in the 90s, you wanted to build your own computer, you got the best deals buying parts from computer shows.
Napalm, yes. Hercules. Hell of a show. Hell of a show.
God. Hell if I know, used to watch Ghost Dad all the time from the library.
The sets in this place are beautiful as well.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
some of them.
James,
Some of them, I'm not sure if they're sets or if they are real places they're using as sets.
Yeah. Life was just good in the 90s. I'm glad I'm not, like, misremembering those years.
I mean, the fact she's turning down Robert Redford.
Their chemistry is visible.
This, for 1992, the stuff they're talking about, this is going to form one of the major cruxes of the film, is so far ahead of what we would see with the public. Basically, cryptography, which is, cryptography is an old thing. I mean, cryptography, of course, we could talk about Enigma being one of the most famous ones from the war.
Yeah.
But cryptography with computers got more. It's become more and more prevalent with computers now.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when you can compute like ciphers at a rate well beyond the human perception, you're gonna get more and more complicated ciphers and such. Anyway, so yeah, with computers, I can imagine it's just going to only get better and better and better.
But what they're talking about here is effectively cryptography with a private key and a public key.
I never trust a man in a white turtleneck.
I mean, this is the bit that gets a bit fantastical, because the way it works with most modern encryption, you have public key, private key encryption. So the key to make the file encrypted is public. Okay? So what happens is, like in instance of a website, you have a certificate on the website, and everything that you send to the other computer is encrypted, and the key you have is for the other computer to use. But they can use that key to send data back to the source website. But the source website only has what's called the private key, which needs to be used for the decryption of the data.
Gotcha. Meaning, if you don't have the
private key, you
the
can't.
data's useless.
Yes.
I mean, cryptology dates back to like Caesar.
Exactly,
Roman.
Sharon's right. Crypto, public key and private keys, exactly the concept they're talking about here. But what they're talking about is effectively the concept that this guy's talking about is effectively effectively a master private key. So that anything that uses that algorithm, this key has the ability to decrypt it.
Yeah. He's clearly the villain. Mullet, white suit, white turtleneck. Well, I don't trust that guy either.
Yeah. Exactly, napalm,
Really
skeleton key.
You know what I miss from the 90s? Having a decoder ring in cereal boxes that decrypted the Caesar key.
I believe in the UK we don't get anything in cereal boxes anymore. I'm not sure if they're in America, but I think in the UK, plastic toys and cereal boxes were stopped because of risk of kids choking on them. Yeah.
Well, that's because what you should do the moment you get home from the supermarket with your box of cereal is open it and get the toy. White turtleneck equals reverse Steve Jobs. Not Jeeves Stobbs, the evil Steve.
Sorry, the even more evil Steve Jobs.
Yeah, the slightly more evil Steve.
Yeah. Yes, exactly, Johnny. This is about a year after Tim Berners-Lee made HTML, the first modern web page.
It's kind of scary to think the internet is so young. When, for people like me, when it existed my entire life, and I've had access to it my entire life, it's just insane to think that a couple of years before my birth, the internet was such a unique place that you couldn't access.
Oh, definitely. Ms. Swift, when PGP encryption for the general public was barely a glimmer. And Castella Daniel Garcia, welcome. Powerful technology heist film.
Gotta love the way he used a keyboard.
Yeah. Well, actually, he could be, if he's an old school typist. It could be, okay, that he was a former mechanical typewriter typist from a typewriter with arms, because there was a different mechanism where you would do that with your hands because you didn't want the arms to necessarily cross over and catch.
Yeah.
Exactly, Alex. When computer type is still typed in the style of a typewriter. Gunter.
I do remember, hell if I know, a time before the internet, because I got dial-up in like 96, 97.
96, 97, Dom? I had been online...
Must have been later.
No, it might have been, but I'd been online since like 94.
I know, but I was 5 in 96.
I know, but I was on the... I used to like it that I was on the internet when it was difficult to get online.
Yeah, when it was...
when it was properly difficult. And people were so... calling me so nerdy and geeky, and this internet thing will never take off.
Oh, bless them. They feel great now.
Oh, yeah, Johnny Devitt, BBS's via modems around this time, yep. I remember when Z modem protocol came in, and I was amazed by how cool it was. Ah, Ms. Swiftlet's got 9-bitnet and VAX, yeah.
I love the cinematic smooching where they're just like full body gyrating with each other, and then he violently rips her away from himself and says, "No, I must get back to my work."
Yeah, Ms. Swift's Z modem was great because it had error correction on it. X modem was terrible. Oh, we've got a little bit of zoom. Enhance.
Enhance.
Zoom. Enhance.
Yeah.
Only a little bit. James is saying you were barely a domestic terrorist then, Dom.
Exactly. I could barely do anything. Oh, the choker. Ah, yes, 3.5-inch floppies. Ugh,
yeah.
Floppy disks. I remember getting like shareware floppy disks in the mail. Good times.
That's cool, Napalm. You dialed into the Blockbuster Videos of Axe and you saw the number on a store sticker. Right, I'm going to tell you a story. This is with my friend who's no longer with us as well. When we were younger, before he got into it professionally, I obtained a list of private computer phone numbers.
Obtained a list?
I obtained a list. Just a list of numbers. Don't ask me how I obtained the list, but I obtained a list of numbers. And he was going with his computer, dialing into them to see what was on the other end. And one of them he dialed into. A computer came up. He couldn't get into it or anything. But basically, he was at his parents' house. And then as soon as the computer hung up, he hung the computer up, the phone rang. And he got this guy on the phone. And the guy on the phone went to him, "Don't ever call this number again." And hung up on him.
The hell?
Yeah. And he disconnected the phone for 2 days in his parents' house, so they just didn't think they were getting any calls coming in case the people rang back.
That's freaking cool. Commander Keen shareware for the win. Yes, Alex Peacock. Commander Keen. You ever watch the TV show Leverage?
No.
I'm getting strong Leverage vibes from this.
But this is very classic kind of techniques that they would use. Basically, it's trying to manipulate the weak link. They've identified the member of staff on reception as a weak link.
God, we've all been there, haven't we? I know for a fact that when I worked like for the reception desk back in my NHS gig years and years and years and years ago, I would not be the weak link. Like I would never let anyone go anywhere unless my boss was there to tell me that it was okay.
Oh yeah,
It got me into trouble so frequently because like
it's the best
let him
best
in.
way to be.
Yeah, I was stuck by the book.
No, best way to be by the book. I'm trying to think another place I worked. We had it was a customer of ours. I'm trying to think. I need to say this in the right way because certain stuff is
I'm not a job's
confidential.
worth, James.
No. There was an instance where they hired a team very similar to this, and what they did was they found out that a certain person was not going to be in the morning, and they were just not in that morning, and they'd be in the afternoon. So they went to reception and said, "Oh hi, I'm here for a meeting with Mr. My train got in really early. Is it okay? Have you got anywhere I could just go and sit and do a bit of work on my laptop while I wait for the meeting?" And yeah, there's a meeting room. There was a meeting room in just off the reception area. You can go and sit in there and he'll be in later and just there. They hadn't let him into a sensitive area of the building, but the guy was also a proper hacker. And there was a live network port in the room. So he managed to plug his laptop into a network port in the room, and he managed to break into the secure areas of the network.
That was another thing I made sure happened when I slowly rose through the ranks in bloody NHS. We couldn't have any room without that had live network connections in.
Yeah.
And if there was, and we didn't use it like all the time, we just turn them off.
Yeah.
Very quick, very simple. There was like a toggle switch where you could just turn them off and turn them on again.
Yeah.
It didn't take any effort whatsoever.
Well, what you do in some of the modern switches now, the port is tied to the network card specifically. So if that network card's the port won't come live, but there are other
ways of getting
things. Yes.
Tell me how in elaborate detail. I want to know what her line what her lines were there, just to go gasp 3 times.
And this is now what we would call social engineering, which is one of the skills of hacking. Basically, it's how good a liar it's how good a liar you are and how manipulative you can be and how good an actor you are.
I would suck at this.
Yeah.
I would be so terrible at social engineering.
Yeah.
One, I get too guilty. Like, I can't do anything. I can't lie to people to their face.
Yeah, exactly. Napalm. That was also social engineering they used to get past the first. This is social engineering hacking we're seeing here. This is what's so great about this film, because they use the social engineering of creating the confusion on the reception area, have the one guy who the guy on reception is almost deeming beneath him. Oh, I'm bringing this delivery. But the guy in the suit, you're like, oh god, okay, I'll let you in. Exactly, PebCap, Ms. Swift. Problem exists between the keyboard and the chair. Alex Peacock saying, luckily, modern laptops available every day don't have an Ethernet port. That's true on a lot of them. Old Johnny Devick, I worked in a newspaper in the 98 and they had one PC connected to the web. All of the mails were put on a disk and scanned on the PC with viruses before entering the desk system. Yeah, that would have been called a sheep dip PC at the time. James is saying we should do a found footage IT heist movie.
What, am I just going to be the guy who gets hacked? Is that my part in this movie?
Yeah, basically.
My depressingly easy to guess password gets leaked on the internet. Oh no.
Exactly, Sharon. A believable lie as close to some truth as possible is the best way to go. Exactly. A lie has to be believable to manipulate someone in these kind of situations. That is such a cool office they've got with all that lighting like that.
This is what reminds me of Leverage quite a bit, because the office they have in Leverage is similar to this. I wouldn't be surprised if they pasted off this film, if I'm being truthful.
So like John Devick's saying the Blair Webb Project. Dom with his whole home connected house.
Yep.
Just screws him from across the street. Evil neighbour trope.
So you want Andrew and I to essentially remake the film that just came out, I think, called AI, where Andrew hacks into my artificial intelligent house and slowly gets me killed. You can be the fall guy who goes to prison, Dom. Thanks, James.
Yeah, exactly. That's fine. That's fine. My the thing is, my home's very smart. Unfortunately,
My home's dumb, purely because no, it's kind of smart. My wife is in IT. She keeps things running and secure. But I'm technologically in the 90s still. For example, I've been setting up the Fenrir ODE, which is optical disc emulator, for my Sega Saturn, which essentially, instead of emulating on a PC, I emulate in the Sega Saturn hardware. My Saturn's just there. I even got myself a wireless Sega Saturn controller to work on this thing, because I love me a Sega Saturn. It's one of my favorite consoles ever. And it's taken me like 2 days to get the damn thing running. Even though there's simple step-by-step tutorials, I'm just that technologically inept.
Here we go.
Oh, is he schlorping up some helium?
Yeah.
Yep. Every time we went to a restaurant when I was a kid and there was helium balloons, I do the same thing.
Yeah, but it makes you lightheaded if you do it too much, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. James, you say that like it's a bad thing that my rec room is so dumb that it will work after the apocalypse. Oh, Johnny Devick, I desperately want a Dreamcast Mini as well. X-Men Children of the Atom was amazing on it, yeah. So many good Saturn games. I'll give you a list if you want. Clockwork Knight, Dragon Force.
Yeah. Tahiti and Scotland, as James says, for a holiday.
Don't diss a step-by-step tutorial. I don't diss it. I need it. I desperately need a step-by-step tutorial. I need it to be stupider for me.
Oh, I think they're drinking dessert wine. Oh, no.
If there's dessert wine, is there also breakfast wine? I guess there's...
No, dessert wine is like a really, really thick, sweet wine.
I'm nothing if not shameless, James.
C-Tech astronomy done. Yeah, this sequence.
Get the Scrabble board.
Yeah.
Was the table glass? If not, I love that shot. Oh, okay, it is.
But,
nice shot, regardless.
Yeah, but keep watching this sequence. Everyone's saying this sequence is so good. It is. Come on, Dom, you're going to work this out.
No, I suck. I can't Scrabble. I would need pen and paper and physically write out every word I could possibly manage. I can't see them in my head. My head's a mind fog.
There we go.
I'm the same with mathematics. I must have some kind of... I must have some kind of condition that I can't visualize words and numbers.
No. Yeah, exactly. It's just how your brain works, Dom.
Yeah, I can picture images, no problem at all. It's a shame I suck at art.
No, Halify, no, it is not that one. James Elliott saying, C-Tech astronomy is named on the National Reconnaissance Officer's uniform patch.
That's cool. Is that what the condition is called, old Johnny Devick? Is that what I have?
Yeah, see, it's not that one, Dom. No. And that's a braille board.
How have I never heard of that technology?
What, a braille board?
I mean, I've heard of Braille. I just didn't know that there's something that could
Braille
type
board, yeah.
Braille to you.
Yeah, braille board, yeah. I used to work with a guy in the 90s who had a braille board.
Interesting.
He was a programmer.
Hard to believe, James, I know, but it's true. It does work.
Yeah. Exactly, Halifino. This film, even though it's 30 years old, it still seems high-tech. Yeah,
it does.
Common complex interfaces. Yeah, not so common with GUIs anymore.
I think the way it stays high-tech, even though it's 30 years old, is that it doesn't dumb down the technology for idiots like me.
No, it's relatively... Look at... Here we go. The numbers I had were very similar to the ones on the Little Black Book. I had a partial list of maybe a Little Black Book. That's where I got my numbers from.
Old Johnny Devick is right as well. The lighting makes it look good and timeless as well. It does, but it doesn't age the film. It doesn't... I mean, the costumes and hairstyles and such, sure.
Wow.
But the rest of the film is pretty much timeless so far. Even the visual techniques they use to tell the story, the camera work is timeless. It doesn't rely on a lot of strong gimmicks. Too many secrets. The lighting is phenomenal, and it's a technique that has kind of been lost over the
Yeah.
years. Like it sucks when you see a film that has just bad lighting. Like, pay for good lighting, people. I mean, look at this. It's glorious.
Yeah. Exactly,
A
old
good
Johnny Depp.
cinematography.
Miles better than the crappy TV shows. The team of ace FBI criminals, science specialists bang something into their iPad or large screens and just give out random speeches about IP and stuff. Yeah, this is some of the most realistic stuff. I mean, this bit is about one of the only fictional bits of the film, but it's the concept of it is very cool.
Is it NCIS where to help anti-hack the hacker, two people use the same keyboard at
Yes.
once?
Yes.
Come on, give me a hand over here. Shares the keyboard.
Yes.
You gotta click more buttons. That's how you beat them.
Yeah, exactly, James. This sequence makes the stakes absolutely clear.
It does. And not only that, the camera panning from like one solid take, panning from each character, it shows how each character feels about the current situation.
Yeah.
It varies between fear, confusion, a bit of upset, like we could have gone further. It's great. It's character storytelling with just showing what's happening.
Well, Sharon's saying, I like to think if I had that power, I wouldn't shut down the grid. But who else would be tempted? Exactly.
I'm too much of a goody two shoes. I can't even kill NPCs in video games. Like, if they're good people, I can't hurt them. I'm too much of a good person.
Mm-hmm.
God damn, he's good.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, the ability to basically just get into any of the government's private stuff willy-nilly.
Mm. Oh, Johnny Devick, you have no idea how upset I am that I can't do any of the evil endings in Baldur's Gate 3. I just can't. I physically can't. I can't even recruit Minthara. I just can't. Who loads a gun this way?
I don't know. I've never loaded a gun properly like that at all. I don't have a gun. I'm in the UK, Dom. You know we don't allow such things. Also, I'm too much of an idiot to own a gun. We've established this on previous watches.
Yeah, you'd open cans of soda with it.
That would be.
Change the TV channel.
Yeah. Oh, there's a ball stuck on the roof. I'll get it down. You know the public information film, the frisbee stuck in the substation? I'd get it out. Oh, welcome, Jesse Fries. Great to see you. The time we're at is there. Yes, there. Do you know what? I think some of this film would work well as a play, almost.
You could very easily do this as a play. Yeah.
Stage play. Maybe not this bit.
The driving sequence outside.
Well, they do it in the Back to the Future musical. The driving in it is incredible.
It's coming to Vegas, like, next month.
Oh, you
and
need to see it.
Carla's going... Well, I would, but Carla's going to be, like, very close to either giving birth or have given birth at that point.
Oh, goodness me. You say it's very inconvenient. I want to see Back to the Future, the musical.
That's what we both said, because we both want to go and see it. She's like, dang, so much is happening in October. James Hellier is saying there is an interesting mix of acting styles here. Poitier was method, Aykroyd was comedy improv, and Redford was traditional movie stardom. Yeah, it's always good to see a mix of acting styles within movies.
Just established that the inventor of the thing was murdered.
Yes.
This is a great shot.
Yeah.
That shot where it actually looks like they are driving and acting at the same time.
Okay, they clearly really enjoy that particular shot as well, because this is the
Yeah.
second time they've done it. The panning down from the flag.
Yeah, James, this is so good, this. See? So that building you met them in was a condemned building.
Mm-hmm. The USPS, of course.
Exactly, Sharon. You'd think these hackers would have identified the identity of the NSA guys first. So the NSA had paid for the box to be made.
Mm.
This is where it all gets very...
I do like the ticking in the background as well.
Yeah.
From the score, just the tick, 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 tick. It's almost like a heartbeat, but also like a counting down clock. Why don't I go to these parties? I want to go to these candlelit black tie affairs where
Are you an ambassador?
I could be.
Or you could be the British consulate to Vegas?
Yeah, we need one over here.
Actually, Dom, isn't the British consulate in Vegas the Earl of Sandwich on the Strip?
Probably, yeah. No, it'd be the Excalibur.
Oh, right, okay.
What is this room?
Oh, it's just a very, very cool pool. Yeah, exactly, Aldrin. This is a vampire party, no sunlight, dimly lit.
Again, this shot is gorgeous. Just having the pool look like it's 3 feet higher than it actually is. Having the reflection of the actors in the pool. Oh, it's gorgeous. The lighting does so much work for this film.
Yeah, James thinks this is James Horner's best score. It is a fantastic score.
I love that. He dips into the shadow before he says, "You must trust me."
Yeah.
Oh, I love
Must
it. I love it.
approach. The film's so nicely shot.
It is. It's gorgeous. Who is the cinematographer? I need to know.
Well, look. John Lindley. Field of Dreams, Father of the Bride, Sleeping with the Enemy, Sneakers, Money Train, You've Got Mail. He was president of the International Cinematographers Guild for a while.
I can understand why.
Exactly, Sharon. The intrigue is underway. I don't trust him. Exactly, Sharon. Don't trust anyone.
This is so tense.
It is. Because technically he's in Russia.
There you go. That's a nice gun.
Well, yeah, they shouldn't be touching them because he's got diplomatic plates on the limo. And they've just made things even worse. Oh, they're in the tunnel, Calbot, in California.
The tunnel. Yep, the tunnel. Where's Agent Mulder when you need him? He's useless with a gun. The moment he pulls out a gun, everything just goes haywire. The moment you notice that, the X-Files becomes a Where's Wally kind of guessing game.
Yeah.
You just can't unsee it. Every time Mulder pulls a gun out, you just wait for it. You see him lose the gun almost immediately.
Now, the only thing I'm not sure about here is, I'm not sure when the law came in America. I know that all cars in America are required to have a way to open the trunk from the inside.
Yeah.
But then it's also maybe understanding that these people who've kidnapped him have made a modification to remove that modification that all cars are required to have.
It's going to sound weird, but have you ever ridden in a trunk?
No. No. Oh. Ah, okay. Sharon saying back in the 90s there was no way. So the law must have come in after that, I believe.
Head trauma.
Yeah, it's quite likely though as well, Alex, I suppose, yeah. The early 90s, that car was an older car for even for the 90s, I would say, so possibly it would be an 80s car they were in.
Oh, some lovely artwork there.
Oh, the Hindenburg. I love it.
Oh, you can never trust someone who's got that kind of setup in their office.
Yeah.
Just scream Machiavelli. Okay, no, the decor. The decor. I'm sorry, is this OCP? This is so evil. I see.
Thank you, Sharon. The law went into effect in 2001 for cars to have the escape thing.
What's up? Yeah, Eric, what is up with villains and giant fish tanks? I guess it's like one of the things that
Yeah.
shows off that you're a villain. Your fascination with large fish. And then to give a monologue while feeding them or talking about how they fight one another.
Well, James is saying apparently this is the part that Dan Aykroyd wanted, but I think they made the right choice going with Ben Kingsley. I don't know if I'd ever wanted Dan Aykroyd doing this role.
No. Ben Kingsley's far better. Far better. Because, like Sharon's saying, he can be so menacing in a cold and almost harmless way.
Even some of his small roles he's great in.
Yeah.
There we go. We're seeing he's just done some basic IT consultancy for the mob when he was in prison, and all he's done is he's set up spreadsheets for them and protected spreadsheets and protected network. Is what he's saying he did for them.
That's all it takes. I wonder if Ben needs any guy liner to make his eyes more menacing, or if he's just naturally...
Sir Ben.
Sir Ben. My apologies, Sir Ben.
Now, this is actually a very, very real thing we're about to see at the moment. So this is actually one of the Cray XMP family of computers. It is a real computer that did have a sofa around it and looked just like that.
Why?
Because it did, because it was so big. But it's a real computer. That is a brother of one of the computers that was genuinely used to create the graphics for The Last Starfighter.
God dang.
It's one of the Cray XMP family.
James, without a clue expanded.
But what's crazy is, of course, that Cray XMP that would be millions and millions of dollars worth, then your phone would shred the performance of.
Yeah.
Oh, I think that's actually a Cray YMP, which is an even more modern version, but it's a Cray YMP. It would have up to 8 processors and up to 512 meg of RAM it could have,
Wow.
which is insane for the time.
Oh, for the time, yeah.
Yeah. Can it run Crisis? Probably not. Have a quick look, I'll tell you.
Hell if I know is saying, after seeing what happened to the country since the 90s, I think Finch should have done what he wanted to do. Ugh.
Possibly it would have run too fast, Alex, yes, for certain stuff.
I do like the idea that you got a Cray supercomputer and you're like, I want to run some adventure games on this thing. Some Tales from Monkey Island.
Okay, so I've got some stats basically.
Mm-hmm.
If you just compare a modern mobile phone, let me ask it how much quicker. Okay, so my phone is 555,456% faster than that computer.
Wow. Wow.
And that was a super powerful computer for the era.
Technology is exponential growth, I suppose. When you have faster
Yes.
machines, you can make even faster machines.
Yes. Yeah, 500,000 times faster in my hand. That's pretty mind-blowing, isn't it?
Yeah, the size of...
Yeah. Something that fits in your palm is 500,000 times more powerful than something that took up a room.
Why can't I get a sofa to surround my phone and I can sit on that and play with it?
Exactly.
It's also like a third of the price, isn't it?
Yeah. The price difference is incredible. It was millions of dollars for one of them.
Not even a third, then. It's...
Yeah. So, James wants me to lobby for Nuns on the Run expanded. James, an 80s scientific calculator would have more computing power than the computer that landed the shuttle. Yeah, Napalm, definitely recommend it. If you've been to the Computer Museum, Bletchley Park in Milton Keynes, it's really worth going. Nuns on the Run expanded. I can't promise you a Nuns on the Run expanded, my friends. However, there is a Nuns on the Run watch party planned. No, I don't think we're going to make a Dennis the Menace expanded as a two-parter.
Ugh.
Mason Gamble. I love the fact they're taking over her apartment.
Uh-huh.
To be fair, she's got a very nice apartment.
It is such a 90s apartment, having, like, that upstairs nook that is just, like, a foyer, essentially. Not a foyer, what the hell's it called now? Like, when you observe over something.
Sorry?
I can't remember the not technical name, but the architectural name for that little nook that just observes the larger room below it.
Vestibule?
I guess. I'm not an architect, so also my feng shui is terrible, so I wouldn't know. The landing, dumb. Yeah, I guess you could call it a landing. Nuns on the Run versus Sister Act.
There we go. This is basically a kind of something you could approximately do. Basically, you just bounce and call through different phone exchanges.
Yeah.
True. Again, the score is getting faster as the conversation goes.
And the camera's getting shakier and more intimate. Oh, so tense.
I think it might have been in Greenland.
Oh.
One of the things I really like about this film is they have a blind character who's not really needing any help doing anything. He's not being a superhero or anything, but he's just a completely competent, rounded individual.
And his particular skill set
Yeah.
and just life experience is assisting greatly in ways that the other characters are just incapable.
Well, every character's got a specific skill set in this team, and it is used.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really cool. Napalm saying I had a blind friend who was a producer on a radio show and super skilled with audio equipment. Yeah, it's that thing, I guess, that they say that blind people, their hearing becomes, so really good. And we're still bringing one of the best sequences of the film. Yeah,
I suppose it's only natural. You focus on what you can observe.
Yeah.
And if you can only observe sound, you hard focus on sound.
great shots again.
Yeah. It's the Boudica Gang panel vans, says Alex Peacock. Can you fly, Bobby? See, we've got all these Robocop references in here.
I like the fact. That Mother is the one driving the van 'cause he's the one who wants the Winnebago.
Mm-hmm. Private property.
Mm-hmm.
Cocktail party.
Oh, that doesn't look at all nefarious, does it? Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It could be Mattel, to be fair.
Yeah, that's true.
Get out of here. You ain't
In there,
getting
they're developing Furbies.
We're developing a long Furby.
Oh, and that is a
Directional
mic. Yeah.
with a sniper scope.
You do line, yeah, because it's lined up so that it's going to pick up where the. Yeah, exactly. Whatever do I mean? It looks like your standard office headquarters.
Yeah.
No, exactly, Johnny. Sound hasn't moved on much compared to other tech since this. No, sound moves on a lot slower for a lot of equipment does. Playtronics. You know they're evil because that font the company name was written in.
Oh, yeah. Just oozes evil.
Took it from Mother's wallet. And so what we're seeing here is two-factor authentication or multi-factor authentication. Yeah. So you have something, basically, it's something you have and something you provide.
Mm.
The only thing would be is the voice print wouldn't be encoded on the card. It would be stored within the system itself.
Yeah.
And here we go. This is picking a target through basically social engineering. We're going to see this is another masterclass we're going to see of what they're doing here. So they're working out their target, who's going to be the easiest person to get them in.
Mm-hmm.
That they can manipulate. Exactly, Johnny. They have blue text instead of green monochrome, which is nice.
Makes me think of Aliens, though. 180 IQ.
Yeah. They need her for a mission. Here we go, and they're stalking him. So they're building out a profile on the guy of their target. Maybe, Alex, maybe. Yep. This is very
Going through his
interesting.
garbage.
Yes. So they're picking out all the bits of his life from just his trash. Yep. Exactly,
Use
Alex. This is why
computer data?
Yep. He signed up to a computer dating agency, which is very popular. That garbage is very clean napalm, but is he so pedantic that he's one of these people who washes like all his food containers and stuff before he puts them out?
Yeah.
Exactly, Calbot. Barry Manilow concert, my god, this man is evil. I'll tell you what's worrying, he goes to Barry Manilow concerts on his own. Oh! What kind of... I want to go to this restaurant. Where they sing
Absolutely, they're just karaoke.
bad Japanese karaoke and Chinese food. Yes.
We need more of those places.
Oh.
Oh, it's this guy.
Yeah, Stephen Jablowski. Gotta go to the dim sum bar.
I mean, when you gotta go, you gotta go.
Love this music. Ned Ryerson. Bing! He's been to the dim sum bar. What's he got? Well, dim sum, obviously.
If he came back with sushi, I'd be impressed. Oh, come on.
Mm. Now, getting into spoiler territory. For those who have not seen Alien Romulus, forgive me, but this is very similar to a scene in Romulus, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, yeah. I was just thinking that.
You know what though? Actually, Ms. Swift, what you're saying is just bring Tom Cruise on wires, or Zeta Jones to inchworm across the floor. You know something though? I prefer this method of breaking into the Tom Cruise way in Mission Impossible was very cool a few years later, and very stylistic and whatever. I like the idea that you've got to do something so awkward.
Yeah. I wonder if that was an ad-libbed line from the actor himself.
But this is actually what they're doing here is very similar to things criminals have done in the past. There was one of the robberies in the real world robbery, one of the ones in Goodfellas was based on. They paid a lady of the night because the guy who had keys to an office they needed to get to, and they paid a lady of the night to visit him. And while she was entertaining him, she secretly passed the keys over to the gangsters, who got another set cut, and then returned them before she was done. You know, it's realistic kind of stuff. Some of this, it looks far fetched, but the brilliance is it isn't. It's just this other world of stuff that people don't necessarily know. You know, it's
What
stuff
goes
that's
along,
it's stuff that's frighteningly close to reality. And that's what I think this film does well with. Like those guards, they've just let down their duty, right? So he's saying, it's the gardener. I thought he'd left. Oh, I guess not. Well, you see, they think he's the gardener. Didn't check the ID. They've not clarified. They've lapsed in their security duties, because if the gardener's there and they think they really should call the gardeners company and check. But they didn't. Exactly, Alex. Late 80s, early 90s, every car is a box. Why is there a skeletal dog on the wall?
Why not?
In a toy factory.
We've established it's basically Mattel. I wouldn't put it past Mattel to have a skeletal dog there.
Oh dear. See, very nice bit of manipulation going on there.
Mm-hmm.
I tell you what, bits in this, Mission Impossible, the first one, very close to.
Yeah.
Mission Impossible was a few years later.
Yeah. And yeah, I believe it was James who said it earlier, but this is far closer to the TV show Mission Impossible than the films are.
She's on a second date with him. Sleaze. I don't want to go on a date with someone who says this meal's only 400 calories.
Not me either.
Not when he's raided the dim sum bar.
Raided the dim sum bar.
Actually, last night I went out for my friend's wife's birthday, and we went to a Chinese restaurant, and there were 9 of us, and we, unfortunately, there was a meal, and it was like, well, you can order this, and it's £22 a person. We thought, yeah, we'll try that. That's just plenty of food. My God, we had too much food. People were walking around with carrier bags of takeout containers of leftovers. They brought us so much food. We had about 15 dishes brought to the table. Like large portions, so yeah.
That's what happens.
When you order too much Chinese food.
How do I think the Raiders will do this year? I don't care. They're not my team. I'm a Ravens fan. So watching their performance against the hellspawn that is the Chiefs, I'm kind of proud of my team. They did well. They lost, but they did well. And they lost by a literal inch.
James wants to know if I want Stephen Tobolsky to call me in the morning or nudge me.
Oh.
Well, I'm a cuddler, you know.
Hell yeah. Ravens. Baltimore.
Yep, old-fashioned security cameras. Thing is now, a lot of security's got a lot better in buildings as well because cameras have become so much cheaper and easier to install.
Yeah. Wife and I got a baby cam.
I've worked in buildings with airlocks though, as in not as in clean room environments. I've worked in buildings with airlocks to get into secure areas.
Gotcha.
Where you go through one door locks behind you, and then the other door unlocks. Went quite a few places like that. Yeah, some data centres in Napalm and certain other offices. It's quite amazing in the world of. I mean, I sound like an old man here. I've worked in IT now for 28 years ish. I think 28 years. No, about 26 years. I've worked professionally in IT, and the things I've seen that people don't know that goes on in the real world of IT, the type of stuff that they're unaware of. I mean, have you ever heard of something called a tank trap?
I have not.
Okay, a lot of data centres feature something called a tank trap, and it's a very simple, old-fashioned thing developed from the war. And the idea is to stop. Like vehicles being able to drive into data centres to steal stuff.
Okay.
So, yes, it's very similar to a pit, Miss Swift, but it's not quite a pit like that. So you have a right-angled wall on one side, and instead of having it at 90 degrees to it, it's a 45-degree angle from the dip from the outside. Yeah. So what happens is if someone tries to drive a vehicle in, their vehicle drives down into the wall, and it's not a direct gap to bridge.
Yeah.
That's quite common on a lot of them.
I love the little Fisher-Price toy that he's using to lower the device into the room.
It's like Florida in here.
Musty, gross, and there's alligators everywhere.
Yes. There's a man barbecuing in his underwear and he's saying racist things. God damn, it's Florida in here.
There's the local meth head, yep.
Yeah. What is that thing?
It's what they're developing. It's the Furby killer they're developing.
Yeah.
Oh god, it is! It's meant to be a dog?
Maybe that's what the dog's skeleton was. So this toy company is actually a front
T-1000s. Yeah.
for the mob. Mm-hmm. Actually, that's quite ingenious. Because think about it this way. If they wanted to send either drugs or cash out to other regions, put them in the crates with the toys, because they'd be shipped all over the country.
Have you heard of Mattress Firm?
Yes.
Have we discussed that it's definitely a front for the mob?
No.
There is a mattress firm on every corner of every street in Vegas. I don't know anyone who buys that many mattresses. How are they that profitable? It's a front for the mob.
Well, this business is definitely a front for the mob. I mean, it's a brilliant one as well, because then you can have returns from the shops, can't you? You're sending stuff back.
Oh, no. When was the last time anyone here bought a mattress? And was it from Mattress Firm?
No, it's from
And
2022.
why are there so many mattress firms?
2022, when we moved into this house from a company online. But it wasn't
There we
Mattress
go.
Firm.
That's the thing. There are so many online mattress companies now. It doesn't make any sense how they keep building more mattress firms. But you don't notice it. You don't really think about it either. Until someone like me red pills you into realizing that Mattress Firm is in league with Arby's. Because Arby's apparently is one of the most profitable fast food joints out there as well, because they're buying companies. Arby's! How? A front for the mob. Every time you go into a Mattress Firm as well, there's no one in there.
No.
Well, the casinos are regulated, James, that's why. If a single cent goes missing in a casino, hell breaks loose.
Yeah, well, the mob got thrown out of the casinos by something that's even more evil, corporations.
Exactly, yeah. It does.
Why would you bring her to
Because
work?
this guy clearly gets off on being right and like saying, I mean, IQ 180 is his bloody license plate.
Exactly. Sharon's saying, tomorrow I'll visit my local mattress firm and stop by Arby's for lunch. Stop my local mob when I can. Yeah. I don't know, Arby's, don't be... Arby's have all the meats, Dom.
They have the meats, but I never see them have any customers, so I don't understand how they're doing so well.
I'll be fair, when I go to America, I do have Arby's. Sometimes. I have either the roast beef or the chicken, bacon and Swiss.
Yeah, but do you order enough Arby's to satiate their finances for years to come?
What happens is, though, Dom, I drive past there and I see the staff in black and white pressing their hand against the window and crying with a single tear running down the cheek, waiting for my order.
Welcome back, Andrew. We have your sandwich ready for you.
Yes. Yeah, Arby's got great fries.
She's in a lot of trouble.
Everything seems to be in order. Mob boss.
Everything-
Sinister
yeah.
mob boss next door. Oh. Oh, I love that little jaunty run.
I know, it was so cute.
It was adorable, wasn't it? I wish I had a jaunty jog like that.
Ooh, Dutch angle all of a sudden.
Oh, and then,
Cinematography.
I know, and the office turns into a fortress. Yeah, and a ponytail. Yeah, Alex, the chat never noticed the mini ponytail earlier.
Ah, yes.
That's interesting. He's saying about you have to break through the firewalls, but he's not talking about hacking firewalls. He's actually talking about firewalls.
The physical
in the building.
firewalls, yeah.
Yeah. To get out, he'll have to actually break through the real firewalls, not the computer ones, which is kind of nice.
It's kind of ironic. The film's about hacking and you gotta break through a physical firewall.
Well, it's... Yeah, but at least they're not going, my god, we need to reroute the IP through 15 of the firewalls. Okay, enhance the override and dump the IP router. And everyone's going, what?
Reverse the polarity of the walls, damn it.
What is this? They found us. Runs into John McClane just scurrying through the...
Yeah.
I'm here to get my damn daughter a stupid toy. Long Furby. Come to LA, we'll have a few laughs.
I can't help but think that if Eddie Jones had been a little harder on his son the next year, Dean Cain might not have turned out how he has. Considering the next year he played Jonathan Kent.
Mm.
Is this the same? He was in A League of Their Own. It was the year after Rocketeer, but same year as League of Their Own. That's a mighty knitted sweater she's got on. I like her knitted sweater.
It will go well with my ponytail.
It might have a snood.
Trying more social engineering.
Yeah.
Always had a soft spot for Lois and Clark. I think I did as well, James. My mum watched it a lot when I was growing up, so it was on the TV all the time.
I liked it at the time, but not... You kind of think, actually, here, though, that Cosmo, in some ways, he wants his friend.
Yeah.
He wants his friend back, but he's not prepared to be the good person his friend is.
Nah.
Oh, dear. That didn't happen to John McClane.
Nah. Then again, John McClane, ho ho ho, had a machine gun.
You can tell he's evil because he's walking around in a very hot office, as they said earlier, with his top button done up and a jacket on.
Absolutely. I mean, that's the formal equivalent of a turtleneck, so... evil.
Alex thinks her sweater might be acrylic. It's finest polyester.
It's the poly-wool blend. But he can. Yeah.
Exactly, top button plus no tie. Oh, you've been desperate to kill him throughout the whole movie, haven't you?
Clearly you're shaking like a leaf, lass.
To be fair, though, she shot the gun and it didn't go in her hand.
True, yeah.
Yeah.
You have to hit him a few times. He's...
Even he looks cool with a backpack on.
Yeah, I know. It's great. He looks like he's about to replace Indiana Jones. Oh god, my retinas. I think I just had some minor corrective surgery done. Alright. Absolutely right, Sharon. A shaky hand can still hit a target that close.
Yeah.
That's the point of a handgun.
That's damn Sidney Poitier. You
Yeah,
don't respect Sidney Poitier that way.
Ah. Kill him. Don't like that guy.
You do not disrespect Sidney Poitier.
That's Mr. Tibbs. Yeah, they call him Mr. Tibbs. Just honk the horn. Just distract him for a brief second.
Oh no.
Just drive the car into him. The jawline on that goon.
Calbot saying somehow I knew the blind guy would end up driving.
split their heads.
That's it. Great music again.
I can't imagine how terrifying driving blind would be.
That's still pretty cool, though.
Oh yeah, it's real cool. Like, oh my goodness. Why so fast? Exactly, Napalm. Why so fast?
Let's not forget as well, this actor here playing, David Strathairn, he was nominated for an Oscar for Best Actor in 2005 for Good Night and Good Luck.
Oh.
I mean, it's. I think this film it's the cast is so good. Yes, exactly, Alex. Good night and good luck. But I mean, it's just incredible. The cast in this film is just so much talent.
Yeah, truly.
And you'd think that so many accomplished actors would veer away from a techie film.
True, yeah. Especially this early in the 90s where tech was a Star Trek-y kind of thing.
Yeah. Exactly, James. Cosmo only feels emotions when he's with Marty. Okay.
Feeling a bit poignant, is it?
34 years on, and he has just said one of the most accurate things even today. In fact, more accurate now than it was then.
The way he delivered that line, "Don't go," it was just so pleading. Hell if I know. I say, let Finch cook.
Yeah, showing you out, he's spot on about controlling the information. What people think.
Yeah.
The future of toys.
Exactly, James. This film's concise concerns about privacy and moral ambiguity over access to personal and corporate information is chillingly precedent. Another. I'm just going to be another A-lister walking into this film.
Yeah.
Yep, napalm. The box.
Wait. This is the same shtick as Armageddon. Are they all going to ask for ridiculous things now
Yeah.
and you get them?
Yeah.
I was about to say, Tahiti's not in Europe. Oh, Carl.
Aww. You can kind of see he's got a good heart. He's naive and
Horny.
aww. I'll see what I can do for peace on earth and goodwill to men.
It's a darn shame that thing didn't happen, eh? I hope everyone else got what they wanted. None of this ever happened.
Dom, resist the urge.
Yeah, I'm resisting the urge. Don't worry, I'm resisting the urge.
And there we go, everyone. That was Sneakers. We'll take your comments in the chat in just a moment. Dom, first watch down.
Fun film. That was grand. And I do agree with a lot of people that it feels kind of timeless. It still feels high tech.
Yeah.
It's a really entertaining flick. And the score is tremendous. The cast is fantastic. The cinematography stole the show for me. The lighting was beyond gorgeous. The fact that they could film entire emotional pieces without dialogue, just very quickly panning. It was gorgeous. It was gorgeously shot.
It feels to me like we've had some great films in the past couple of months. We've had what I'd call a dirty hamburger of a film. This feels like a proper substantial meal of a film. It had a lot of meat on the bones to it. It had great performances. Everything was A-game. And this is a criminal shame that this film isn't better known by a lot of people.
Absolutely. It is a criminal shame, yeah. I'm very glad that I know of this film now.
I think it was absolutely, I love this film. Really a great film. So let's take the comments from the chat. Hell if I know, fun flick. Sharon, it was so fun. Johnny Devitt, guess I should have paid more attention to the movie, but I love the visuals and the cast. Miss Swift, it was fun. Haven't seen it in decades. So precinct. Brainwire, that was a great movie. James says the ending was a reshoot. It cost $26 for a news TV outlet they knew to record it and FedEx the tape to them. Calbot, that was a fun first time watch with you. You're going to have to watch it again soon. Sharon, no special effects, just good writing, good acting, a great time. Napalm, is there a website where we schedule the watch-alongs, the watch parties? Just keep an eye on YouTube. Every week we post what the live event's going to be. So it's going to be in a minute for next week. Alex, great movie. They need to make more fun caper flicks like this. Yes.
Yeah, agreed.
That's very cool, James. I have the special edition UK Blu-ray. My copy was signed by Philip Alden Robinson, and it's treasured. That's fantastic. So we will be back in 7 days, as always, and we're going to be watching something that's another great film with awesome performances. It's not in one of our traditional genres, but I don't care. It's another one that's got a super tight script. It's got fantastic performances. It's funny and it's brilliant. It's not Cowboy. It's not Hackers. We are going to be going down to Georgia. Sharon, it's actually very, very close because it's the same director as Nuns on the Run. It's not Groundhog Day. It's going to be My Cousin Vinny.
Oh, yes.
I know.
Loves me some My Cousin Vinny.
My Cousin Vinny, one of the finest films that we can quote along. I love every moment of it. And we are going to be watching that next weekend. So, next Sunday night. Sharon saying it was her husband's absolute favourite movie. Lawyers watch it. Hell if I know it. Yes. It's just such a good movie. I love My Cousin Vinny. So great. I love this one. It's a great movie as well. So anyway, for the next 7 days, please be kind to each other, stay safe, put positivity into the world, look after each other, maybe reflect on some of the themes of this movie we watched this week, which I think, as people are saying, is quite close to the modern world, and be ready for a great time next week while we go down to Georgia and watch My Cousin Vinny. So until then, everyone, good night.
Good night.